she's amazing. And she's been in the corporate world rocking at a high level for 32 years, corporate America. She just made this huge decision to quit her job and go full-time in Isogenics. She did it. She's doing it. And she's already doing that. And, you know, she's been executive, 1-star, 2-star. She's really doing this. And it's really beautiful to watch. And, you know, she came into my life in a very interesting time. You know, I kind of had walked away from God for a while in my life. It was really Belinda who, she sent me this CD, this Christian CD, and all it said was, listen loud and often. So I just went off on a Sunday, and I went up to Kolob, up above Zion, and it took about 5-6 hours. I listened to it over and over and over. It's still one of my favorite CDs to this day, and I just kind of got reconnected, you know, to God, and it was beautiful, and it's been a beautiful journey the last couple of years for me. So I just honor her, love her. She's such a sweet, dear soul. So let's give her a Bliss welcome, the one and only Belinda Foster. You gotta come. Let's go.
Be right here in a minute as soon as this screen comes down. This is huge for me today, guys, because a year and a half ago, need a mic? We got this mic? Can you hear me now? Very good. 1.5 years ago, I was sitting in these seats thinking everybody was kooky. Everybody. And Casey Pluff had me come to, we're going to get this going here for a second. I'm just going to tell this quick story. But I remember sitting right here, right where you are, right where you are. And I'm like, this is crazy. These people are crazy. And they had us doing all these vision things and writing down where you're going to be, what your dreams are. And I just couldn't think of anything. What was your why? I was just blank. I didn't want to go there. I had no idea what my why was. Be great if this was on. And it is. Amazing technology. Look at this. Casey Pluff reached out to me. Who reached out to Casey? Somewhere there was Lenny. And then you see me right there behind Lenny? I had no idea a year and a half ago I would be standing here. But you know what I wrote down on that paper? That one day, I didn't know why or how or what I was going to talk about. I would be standing here right now.
Go.
Yeah. So when Lenny called me, what, a month ago, 2 months ago, he didn't ask me. He just told me I was speaking. And fear. Fear set in. But you know what was even greater than fear? I thought about this. Who is here because someone reached out from a heart of love and said, you deserve to be here? Raise your hand. Now keep your hand up. And who is here because you were the person who reached out from a heart of love and you told someone to come. You invited someone. It's everybody in this room. Everybody in this room. Who here has reached out with healing prayers of love during tragic events like 9/11? Do you remember that day? Raise your hand. If your heart went out to the world that day, raise your hand. Page 27. Go to that really quick, but it's right here. Anything you do, any thought you have, ripples on forever and changes the competition of the whole universe, however small that is. My journey to love. This is what I'm here to talk about. My journey from fear to love. And its composition is what that should have been, but you knew that. So this is where I was born, in Pamlico Beach, North Carolina. And everybody's got a journey from fear to love, okay? So as I go through mine, one thing that I'd like for you to do after this event is you go through yours. Put your own PowerPoint together. And whatever your purpose is, whatever your why is, I want you to put it together in a slideshow, because you're going to be up here one day. Okay? So this isn't about me. This is about us. And speaking of us, if you're my roommate at this event, would you stand up, please? Are they in here? You see these three ladies right here? I want you guys to know, at midnight last night, I completely hit delete on what I was going to talk about today. On purpose. On purpose. Because Lenny told me that it's going to change, and that I had so much coming to me. There was so much greatness out of everybody before me, that I would take that, and when the time came, I would know exactly what to do with it. And these ladies are responsible for why this is here today, and not what I planned to talk about. I faced my fear. I faced another fear. This is where I was born. What's all around me?
Water.
Who likes water? Yeah. Who resonates with water? Yeah. In fact, the stork dropped me right there. Pretty good aim, but I didn't think so, because it was to these people. And to blind people. Blind people. That's where I went. Fear. Fear of love. Fear, lack, fear. My family has been fishing those waters of the coast, I know, since 1772, because the deed to the property in which I grew up that I'll inherit is dated 1772. You want to talk about some programming? Generations. Fear, lack. Fear, lack. Because if we didn't fish every day, we didn't eat. We lived in the country. There was nothing around us for miles. This is what I did. And I don't know if you can see this or not. I don't know if we can dim some lights, but it's okay. That's what I did for the summer. I headed shrimp. I stood in shrimp heads on the floor. You just head shrimp all day long. And as a little girl, all I knew was it was scarcity, competition. See all those shrimp on the table? And I'd be working as a little girl from like 8, 9 years old until I was 18 years old, heading shrimp. Shrimp poison all up my arms. It was production only. See those buckets? You'd fill a bucket, and you ate what you killed. It was not a world of cooperation. It was a world of competition, which I find it interesting that when I put that line on page 27, I should have not used the word competition. It was another word in the book. But you see what came out? Competition. I just caught that. Everything happens for me. Well, then I thought, well, I'm getting out of this industry, and I went to this one. I handed tobacco. Anybody here ever handed tobacco? I'm old, man. I'm on the dirt, apparently. I handed tobacco. Who doesn't smoke anymore? But this was me when I was born. That's not me. But I saw it. No, I have pictures of me. But you know what? I looked at that. I saw that baby online, and I'm like, wow, we all came in just like that. So sweet and adorable. And we become something different very quickly. And it's from the collective consciousness of your family. your community, and what your ancestors did. And mine was all about fear. But this is what fear did to me. I don't know if anybody's ever been in a fetal position. If you have, then I know you can relate. And if you haven't, you probably will at some point in your life. So what did I do? I went and got a real job. They were so proud of me. I paid my way through college. I worked 40 hours a week in banking, and I just knew I just had to, it was competition. You got to be the best. You got to survive. It's survival of the fittest. It's the Darwinian scientist theory that we have been impressed, has been impressed upon us since the day we came. For 400 years, the scientists kind of had it wrong. They had a lot right, but they had a lot wrong. So I joined banking. I would just do an amazing, and that was in 1979. And this happened. I left banking. I had nowhere to go, no job to go to, and I just said, this is not me, and I'm quitting. And I faced my fear, and I quit. And this is what happened when I quit. I started a fitness business. What? Nobody in my family. If you walked where I'm from, people would all send help to pick you up. They thought your car broke down. You ran out of gas. You didn't walk. Where do you walk into the country? Riding a bike meant you had a DUI. I left this. I went right back to the banking because I got scared. I had a great business, Debbie BB. I was making money stuffing $100 bills in safe deposit boxes because there's not enough and you got to save them. You can't put them out in the world. I was fearful. Scarcity. So what happened? I lost it. So what did I do? What did I retreat to? My comfort zone. What did I go back into? How'd y'all know? Y'all smart. And then I quit again. And this is what happened. This is what happened. I decided at 50 years old to face my fear because I never felt pretty enough or good enough or skinny enough. And I entered a open to the public modeling competition for cigar cover that was raising money for a children's shelter, and I won. I beat out all the 20-year-olds. They hated me. And then I got called back into banking again. And this was just in recently, December 2013, because I kept quitting. And then I would get scared. My fear would set back in. I went back into banking, and I did an amazing job, and that's when I quit. I quit because I met Isogenics. But let me tell you, when I quit, I gave up a multiple six-figure income, making $500 a month. And I have debt. So I gave up 6 figures and to make $500 a month. And then this is what happened. That's the Welcome Home Challenge. So what's the first about power? Everybody quickly, chapter 17, page 181, consciousness, your experience. You experience what you're awake to. Are you awake to fear or love? So I'm going to make this simple. There's only 2 things. Fear and love. Every other emotion is just another word, another description for fear or love. And no one, now go to page very quickly, 185, and let's see, I don't have my glasses on, but 185. Does everybody have it? Yes. Okay, 185. It says, no one can stop you from being happy and wealthy because you alone choose to experience everything as good or bad, all on your own. And no one can possibly take away that internal choice from you. And only you can choose to have wealth or happiness. And no one can take that from you except who? You. Except you. We are God expressed. And what is God? What is gratitude? It's love. We are love. It's that simple. And what's happening in this room today is collectively affecting the world. Okay? So traditional science said we have a brain, there's no feelings attached. Quantum science came in and said, wait a minute, there could be a brain, there could be a heart. Did you know the heart? There's a connection. That's spirit science. The heart has 100 times greater electrical power than the brain and 5,000 times greater power than the brain. If you could choose one thing for power, what would it be? It would be your heart. Oops. It's here, so there's a video in here. It just did. Thank you.
Okay. I got sound back here, so you gotta go back. We gotta play at the same time. Oh.
I have to do what?
Go back. And then on three, we gotta play it at the same time.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. You guys ready? Everybody in here?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Here?
Yeah.
All right.
No, wait.
This 3-minute
Collective.
A question tonight: can you actually measure the emotional outpouring in a worldwide crisis?
Sometimes scientists think that they have done just that. Their machines and computers found a bizarre pattern right after several global disasters.
CBS News' Brendan Keefe explains this phenomenon.
September 11th deeply affected people far beyond New York and Washington. The attack sent shockwaves around the world, a global reaction that triggered a spike in the network of scientific instruments, just like a seismograph during an earthquake.
Each of those showed a similar pattern of change during that day.
Retired Princeton scientist Dr. Roger Nelson believes the emotional focus of millions of people on a single event, like 9/11, may form a global consciousness.
Does consciousness interact directly with the physical world?
To answer that question, Dr. Nelson and his colleagues deployed dozens of instruments around the world, random number generators. Basically, they're electronic coin flippers. Instead of heads or tails, each generates a 1 or a 0 200 times a second. If you flip a coin 100 times, you'd expect a result of about 50-50, 50 heads and 50 tails. But what if every time you flip that coin, it came up heads? Not once, not twice, not 50 times, but 60, 70, or even 80, all of them heads.
We do that every second at each of, now we have about 65 places around the world.
When truly random, the line of data wanders back and forth around 50-50 in a pattern the researchers call a drunkard's walk.
And on 9/11, it begins not being a drunkard's walk. It goes like this for 2 days.
It may sound bizarre, but Dr. Nelson and his team have been at this for the better part of a decade. The first spike showed up in 1997 with the death of Princess Diana. Other events like the Concorde crash, the Madrid train bombing, and the Pope's funeral all registered on those random number generators. But early on the morning of September 11th, the data went off the charts.
Several hours before that first plane hit. We don't know how to explain that.
We do. Do we know how to explain this?
What is that video called?
Say again?
What was that video called?
It's called the Global Consciousness Project, and it's fascinating to me because it really pulls in science, and it shows us this. It shows us that we are connected to Source. So when I reconnected to Source, to God, to love, to me, everything changed. And when I tell you, I skipped a lot of painful parts of my life because I don't have to go there. I don't have to. This came into my life because whenever, can we get anointed? Yeah. How many of us are here? We're so grateful for this angel right here. That came into my life, and it just brought everything into full circle, and I learned not to be scared because this showed up. But fear came back. I was on the inside of an 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 inside leg. Anybody else relate to that? Yeah, right? And then I learned that that's false evidence appearing real. And I remember there are only two emotions: fear, which is your contrast, and love, which is your GPS. Fear and love and your GPS is going to tell you when you're off course. And when you feel fear, that's just your GPS going, get back on course, get back on course. Appreciate it. Take your fear. That's your lesson. That's where your work's to be done. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, turn around, reboot, right? So I came up with this, ramble your way back to love. So I would look into my back office and I'd see those double zeros, and buddy, if I could just cycle one time, and I didn't look at it with love, but I do now. And so now when I cycle 8 times, 9 times, and I'm still just cycling 10 times, 13 times maybe. And I'm like, I am so grateful for 10, because if it wasn't for 10, I wouldn't know what 20 feels like, and I wouldn't know what 30 feels like. And this just tells me I'm not loving enough people. Thank you so much, 10. I can't wait for 2-star, 3-star, 5-star. Expansion. The edge is scary, isn't it? Dave McGarth is going to tell you. Lenny knows what it feels like. Standing up here is on the edge. That's where the work's to be done. Face your fear. So expand. We're here to expand. We're never going to get it right. There's never going to be enough, because you're going to want to go to the next expanded part of yourself, which is all that I am, which is everything, which is God, which is the galaxy. It's the universe. And, of course, appreciation for now, and allow desires to come. Everything is queued up in this universe in your favor. It's in your favor. You're in the sweet spot. You're in the vortex. There, you can't do any wrong. Everything's queued up for your happiness. Everything. So this was actually my front yard growing up. This is what I looked at every day. And that's where I also felt love. That's where I felt most connected to Source. That's where I felt connected to the sun. And I'm so grateful for my childhood. I'm so grateful for everything about it. And now when I look around, this is all I see. That's me playing golf a few months ago. What do I see? But a heart. And that's me on a hike, because I see love everywhere. And it finds me. I see this orange molded in my house this way. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. And I want you now, can we cut the lights? Lenny, can I get your help? I want to cut the lights. If you don't mind, I don't even know. I'm probably way over.
You're good.
Am I good? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up in a couple minutes. That works out perfectly. So I want like all the lights off, and I want this video to get going. And in order to get this started, Austin, do I just click again? Because, well, let's see. No. So can you get that one started for me? This one's not embedded?
No. Where's that?
It's just on YouTube. It's this right here. The link's on the screen. When you click on those words, it's embedded right there. Yep, that's it. Bear with me, I promise you, this will be worth it. Yeah, that's okay, we'll figure it out. Oh. Put the mic aside. Can we back that up?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Just give me the mic.
Now, if we could just mic Lenny.
How do I learn how to love myself? I've mouse, yes, I have. I will lie.
Okay, how to love yourself. Well, I'll give you a couple of tips.
Yeah.
Justin, who else have you got to love?
It's a mic. Yeah.
It's on it.
Who's more important to love than Justin? Hey, that's funny. How do you do it? You wake up in the morning just like I do, and you look in the mirror and you say, "Damn, you're cool." For sure. Can love me whenever I want to. You're the only person that can wipe my ass. You're a good person. And you're the only person that will always be in the gym with me. You're the only person that gives me an opportunity to look out at the world and see the beauty of the world and see how amazing creation is. You're the only person that lays with me under the stars and sees exactly what I see. 16 billion souls waiting for bodies. And to have one is the greatest gift in the universe. My advice to you is just play more. Stop worrying about other people's opinion. Remember, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. All that really matters is how you feel. So if you can just enjoy your day, think of things that you enjoy doing, and give yourself permission to do that, and just really become your own best friend. And I treat Paul like Paul's best friend, and I take care of Paul the way I want to take care of my best friend or my wife or someone that I really love. And you just give yourself permission to be honest about your feelings and express those. You know, if you're curious about what God is, meditate on it. Ask big questions. If you're curious about what it would be like to play some music, then go to a guitar shop and take a couple of lessons. Have fun. The secret to love is having fun. If it's not fun, then it's probably not a very high form of love. And in a few minutes on the radio, my best advice is that just start allowing yourself the freedom to have fun. And I would recommend you look at yourself in the mirror every morning and just relax, look right into your eyes and say, I love you, buddy. I love you. I really love you. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm so grateful to be able to share this experience of life with you. It's so much fun to brush your teeth, comb your hair. As a matter of fact, I'm going to love you so much that it's inevitable that other people are going to feel how much love we have for each other, me and you, and they're going to want to participate in our private little party. And then you will see people can't resist you when you love you because they know that you're safe to be around because you're loving.
Justin, what do you think about that?
Whew, what you guys think? Okay, can everybody stand up? Please stand up. Touch somebody, grab a hand, and on the cue of, I'm going to count to 3, and when I'm at the end of 3, you're going to, with all your might, with all that you have inside of you, you're going to state your name out loud, and you're going to say, I love you. You're going to stream it to God, to the universe, to everybody in this world. And what you think about yourself, what you say to yourself, you're saying to the world. 1, 2, 3.
Guys, check this out. Casey is about to be on the big screen here, Casey Pluff, to introduce us to David Kakandi. So I think I should probably put some lights down. Belinda Foster, another round of applause.